So let's talk about how they should handle nerfs in a Mortal Kombat 1. And in my opinion, sure you can say, oh, Baraka is broken, however, is he really broken or is he just really top tier? What makes him actually broken is Cyrax. So I fully believe that NRS should actually start nerfing or buffing Kameos instead of actually looking at the cast. Because if we look at the entire base roster, I don't think there's a character that can truly say, oh, they are broken as hell, it's impossible to play against them. I just mean the base character, right? I know that Raiden and Baraka with the right cameos can be freaking annoying to deal with. So how, for example, would you even nerf Cyrax? So there's two types of assists in this game. There's ambushes, which means your character can move while you call them out. So you can call them out whenever, when you're on the ground, when you're in the air, when you're during an attack string, whatever, right? Now the other type is a summon. Now the summon prevents your character from moving. You have to be on the ground and you have to be not doing anything for this type of assist to come out. Now Cyrax is not a summon, but his helicopter spin move is an ambush, so you can do it whenever, right? I think they should switch out the type of assist with the net becoming an ambush and the helicopter spin becoming a summon, which means that Baraka is obviously not going to be able to do it during a special. He'll be able to do it after a block string, but like all of the other ones that you can do after a block string, you can just poke him out of it, and I think that would remove the crazy chip damage and pressure. Now I know this would change the cameo a lot. It would pretty much just change the way people play him, right? Because he'll go from pressure character to weird corner combos to just net combos all over the place, right? But it seems that the problem that most people have with Cyrax is the chip, right? Is the fact that you can't really do anything about it unless you really have a fast armored move, kind of like Johnny Cage. But if you play Melina like me and you try to use an armored move, it's way too freaking slow to use in between the gap. So you need to flawless block the last hit to avoid the Cyrax chip damage. Now this is how I would personally nerf Cyrax, but let's say hypothetically that they want to nerf Baraka. There is one thing that they could do, which is really simple, is make it so that the move that he uses on block, he enhances on block and calls out Cyrax right after. He could make it so that you cannot enhance that special on block. So sure, he could do the first part of the special and maybe call out Cyrax, but because he can't enhance it, you'll be able to poke him out of it. So maybe that would be a better nerf. But here's the problem for me. I don't think NRS should start nerfing base roster characters based on how they are used with a cameo, because obviously the cameo is the issue, right? Because let's say Cyrax was viable with a few characters on the roster. Well, if you nerf Baraka, he'll still be stupid with other characters, so what was the point, right? For example, a lot of Johnny players use Cyrax as well for the same exact thing, so Johnny being extremely good as well. Even if you nerf Baraka, it's not going to change the fact that a lot of people are going to use the same tactic with Johnny Cage. You know, it's not going to change anything on that front. That's why I say that they shouldn't touch any character, but just really look at the balance of the cameos, because it's pretty much what makes all the difference in a way. Like, sure, character can be good on their own, but the right cameo can propel them to broken status. You might disagree with me on this, but so far this is what I personally observed. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen once we get that first combat pack and when those cameos are going to be released exactly, if it's going to be one by one or just in a whole batch, right? Or if like Omni-Man and one cameo is going to be released at the same time. I guess that is still to be determined. And I know people are not gonna like the fact that I said that there's no broken characters in the game right now. You might say, well, what about Kenshi and his ghost and him hitting you different ways, different directions at the same time? And yes, it's annoying. And I think he's really, really freaking good. However, I think as the game goes on, you know, it's still only 2 weeks in. As the game goes on, we'll find more tech, we'll find ways to fight better against these characters. Like, it's not because we don't know how to defend against a certain character that they're just broken and then we instantly cry for nerfs, right? Like, I've seen so many times for Melina. Like, I'm sorry, Melina is extremely good in this game, but she does not deserve any nerf whatsoever. Not to mention that she has a lot of bugs when it comes to her ball roll and her corner stuff. Like, when she ball rolls in the corner, the direction doesn't auto-correct itself. So if you want to combo, it'll drop the combo. Ball roll whiffs on stuff it shouldn't whiff because it looks like it doesn't have any hitbox on startup. the EX ball roll whiffing and she stabs the ground instead of the person, which is a full combo punish. Like, I understand that she might be annoying to deal with for people who don't know how to defend against her, but literally all you need to do is block. That's why my opinion is to not nerf anyone, because the game is in its early stages, right? We don't know everything. We haven't figured out everything that's broken. We haven't figured out everything that's actually mid-tier. If the flawless block, Melina's 1-2 string, you know, it's very hard to open people up. But even with all of this said, I still think that because cameos are the variations of this game and they make the most difference, they should be looked into for a balance instead of characters, because crazy enough, this is probably one of the most balanced like NRS games character-wise. It's not because there are top tiers and bottom tiers that the game is bad or that it's not balanced. There will always be top tiers, there will always be bottom tiers in every single fighting game. It's not because your main is bottom tier that the game is bad. I mean, heck, Cassie was freaking top tier in MK11 for a long time, even after the nerfs, and I still did not enjoy playing that game. But enough about my rambling. How would you guys specifically nerf Baraka or Cyrax or both, and how you will handle nerfs in this game generally speaking? So with that said, I hope you have yourselves a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all very soon.